All right, let's jump right in. I want you to imagine a city that's not just busy, but is building and shipping millions of items every single second. Well, that city is just one of the trillions of cells inside you. And today, we're going to explore its incredible internal mail system.
So how does this microscopic city pull off a logistics operation that would make Amazon's head spin? You've got to remember, every single protein, which is basically a tiny worker or a piece of machinery, has a very specific job in a very specific location. If you get that delivery wrong, the whole city can grind to a halt.
And the answer, well, it's both elegant and totally mind-blowing. Turns out the cell has its very own internal postal service. It's complete with address labels or zip codes that are literally written into the fabric of the proteins themselves, and a whole fleet of molecular trucks ready to read those labels and make the delivery.
So, let's pull back the curtain on this amazing system. We're going to start by breaking down the basic rules and the main delivery routes of the cellular postal service.
The official name for this whole process is protein targeting, and it's the fundamental system that prevents absolute chaos inside the cell. I mean, without it, proteins would just be floating around aimlessly, they wouldn't be able to do their jobs, and they could even cause a ton of damage. It's the ultimate organizational chart, all written in molecular code.
Now, what's really fascinating is that the cell has two main shipping strategies. On one side, you have post-translational targeting. Think of this as mail first, then ship. The protein gets fully built and then it gets sent off to its destination, like the mitochondria. But then there's co-translational targeting, and this is so cool. It's like assemble while shipping. The protein starts getting built, but then the whole factory moves to a special loading dock called the ER to finish the job while it's already on its way.
Okay, so if proteins are the packages, how in the world are they addressed? Well, it all comes down to a tiny molecular signature. Let's decode these address labels.
These labels are called sorting signals. They're just short little stretches of amino acids, the building blocks of proteins, that are embedded right into the protein structure. It's basically a zip code that the cell's postal workers can instantly recognize and know exactly what to do with.
And here's a little peek into the cell's address book. Just look at the specificity here. A signal peptide is basically a shipping ladle for export. It tells the cell to send this protein out. A nuclear localization signal, or NLS, is like a VIP pass straight to the cell's headquarters, the nucleus. A completely different signal gets you into the cell's power plants, the mitochondria. And check this out, a simple three-letter code, SKL, is the address for the peroxisome. It's just an incredibly precise and elegant system.
Okay, so we've got our packages, and they've all got addresses. But every good postal service needs a central hub, right? A massive sorting facility? Well, the cell has one too.
That central hub is the endoplasmic reticulum, or ER for short, and the Golgi apparatus. Any protein that has that signal peptide we just saw, the one that's destined for a membrane or needs to be shipped out of the cell, has to make a stop here. This is where all the magic of sorting, processing, and final packaging happens.
So let's follow a package on this journey. First up, dispatch. The signal peptide gets recognized and the whole ribosome factory docks at the ER. Then, processing. The protein threads its way into the ER, it gets folded correctly, and its signal peptide is clipped right off. Next, shipping. These little bubbles called vesicles act like delivery trucks, moving the protein from the ER over to the Golgi. And finally, the final sort. The Golgi acts like that last-mile distribution center, making final tweaks and packaging the protein into a brand new vesicle aimed right at its final destination.
But you know, not every package goes through that main sorting facility. Some have their own direct high-priority routes. So let's take a quick look at these special delivery routes.
For deliveries to the nucleus, that NLS zip code gets a special protein escort, kind of like a security detail, right? Through these gates called nuclear pores. For the mitochondria, the protein actually has to be completely unfolded to snake its way through these tiny little import channels. And then for the peroxisome, the fully folded protein is just imported whole. See? Every destination has its own unique entry protocol.
Now, this system is stunningly effective, but it's not foolproof. So what happens when a package gets lost or the mail just goes missing? This is where we really see just how critical this whole system is.
Yeah, this is a crucial question, because a single typo in a protein's address, maybe from a genetic mutation or a breakdown in the delivery machinery itself, well, that can have these cascading, catastrophic effects on the entire cellular city.
And that's really the bottom line. A misrouted protein isn't just useless, it can be actively harmful. It might fail to do its job, sure, but it could also build up in the wrong place, creating like a toxic traffic jam right inside the cell.
A really tragic and powerful example of this is cystic fibrosis. There's this crucial protein that's supposed to end up on the cell's outer surface to help regulate salt and water, but because of a targeting error, it gets stuck back in the ER, that main sorting facility. It never reaches its final destination, and the consequences for the entire person are absolutely devastating.
So to wrap it all up, this postal service is, well, it's everything. It maintains organization, preventing the kind of toxic protein buildup that we see in diseases like Alzheimer's. It's what allows for specialization. The reason a liver cell is different from a muscle cell is because they send their proteins to different places. And looking forward, this is a huge frontier for biotechnology. If we can master these cellular zip codes, we could potentially deliver drugs with incredible precision.
And that's the thought I really want to leave you with. This isn't just some abstract biology lesson. It's a potential roadmap for the future of medicine. If we can learn to write our own biological addresses, what kinds of packages, what therapies, what genetic editors, what diagnostic tools could we send, and where would we tell them to go? The possibilities are truly extraordinary.